Creative Living, utilizing today's technology with the best of the past to bring you innovative ideas and up-to-date information for creative lifestyles in today's active world. With your host, Sheryl Borden.
I'm so glad you joined me today for Creative Living. We're going to learn to prepare canapes. We'll show a fun and easy way to make fashion embellishments and room decor projects, and we'll talk about some design tricks to reshape your room size. One of my guests is Dr. Charlie Brose, and he's an assistant professor of culinary arts at Eastern New Mexico University in Portales, New Mexico. Dr. Brose and one of his students, Jessica Roberts, will demonstrate how to make canapes, which should reflect the overall mood of the meal. Another guest is Marissa Puelco, and she's a licensed designer for Sissics. Today she's going to show how to create a variety of easy and fun fashion embellishments as well as room decor projects. Marissa's business is Modern Surrealist, and she lives in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. And we'll begin the show with Kimball Starr, who is an interior designer from San Francisco, California. Kimball's going to explain the tools you can use to change how you perceive the shape of a room's interior. Her business is Kimball Starr Interior Design. Kimball, it's so nice to have you here. I'm going to pick your brain on everything I've always wanted to know working with an interior designer. And do people come to you with unusual requests like, I have a small room, but could you make it look twice as big?
Sometimes I do. I mean, I can do some miracles, but I'm not a miracle worker.
See, so
Yes.
you have to work with what people have.
That's right.
Okay, you have some examples that you're going to show, and if you'll point out things that maybe would help us to reshape a room or how to live with what we have, but maybe make it look better.
Absolutely. So when you want to reshape a room size, this is not obviously doing major construction, but design tricks to make it look like it's a little bigger than it is. So we have three categories. We want to talk about color, which you can use to change a room size. Warm colors will come closer to you and cool colors will move away. And then patterns, which you can use in your flooring or your walls, and then also reflective surfaces.
Oh,
Reflective
like mirrors?
surfaces, yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Reflective surfaces, things, maybe glossy finishes, reflect light and make the space feel bigger.
Oh, okay. That's good tips, good
Yeah,
tricks.
yeah.
Okay.
So these are some examples
Okay.
illustrating that.
Good.
So here I've used the dark blue color in this bay window to push the bay window out. It was a very narrow bay window, so I wanted to make it feel deeper. And then also, if you notice, the planks are running crosswise, so that helps widen the room.
I can see how that would do that.
Yeah. So that's a good example how
Good
the
tips.
power of paint and pattern. And then here we have another bay window in a bedroom. And the bay window, you notice we have two colors. We have the dark chocolate and the butterscotch. And the dark chocolate frames the bay window, and then I actually did the bay window in butterscotch because the wall continues into the bay window and makes it feel like one big continuous space.
Oh, instead of being choppy.
Exactly.
Stop and start.
Exactly. If I had done the bay window and that whole seating area and the dark chocolate, it would have felt like add-on to the room, and it would not feel nearly as big as it does here.
Oh, okay.
And then another trick is, you notice there's the picture rail, this molding, the
yes,
white line. So it really acts as a way to guide your eye of where it should be looking, and that it elongates the room. And so a trick you can do to make your ceiling seem taller or lower is I put this molding here because I felt that the ceilings were a little too high for the room.
Too high.
In
Okay.
proportion to how wide it was. So by bringing the molding down, it drops the ceiling height.
Your eye comes down.
Absolutely. And another trick is if you wanted your ceilings to also feel lower is you could take the ceiling color and paint here, so you actually create a band.
Bring the ceiling down. It would
That's
look
right.
like it was down lower.
That's
That's a
right.
good idea.
And you can do the opposite, where you could actually take the wall color and bring it up into the ceiling about 12 inches. So you create a border around the ceiling, and that will actually make your walls seem much higher. So lots of little fun tricks to
Really?
do.
And that's just with paint. I mean,
And
how
that's
easy
just
could
with
that
paint.
be if you know what you're doing?
Well, you know what? I always say paint's the easiest way to make a change, and it's the simplest and least expensive.
Least expensive,
So
right.
definitely experiment.
Okay.
Here's an example of using reflective surface. By using the mirror, it helps double your space. Wherever the mirror covers, it doubles that area. And also by the long rectangular shape of the mirror, it helps widen the dining room because it was
Instead of it being turned
right. I mean, I could
vertical.
have done it vertical, and then that would have made it feel higher.
Higher,
But it was it's a lowered ceiling where it's only a little area that the dining table can fit under. So I wanted to make it feel like it was a little more bigger and gracious.
And I think we've all
than
known
it
about
is.
at restaurants, we'll walk into a room and it just seems so huge, but it's really one wall's all mirror.
Yes,
So you
that's
realize
right.
how that can make
That's
it
right.
seem twice
Or
as big.
dance studios, or yoga
Yes,
studios. It feels like this huge, spacious room, and it's maybe
It's
only-
really tiny.
That's right.
That's a good
So you
idea,
definitely can
though.
use that. You know,
reflective surfaces.
right. But don't go crazy. Don't do your whole house in mirrors.
Right.
So here's an example of a hallway where the baseboard trim has been painted the same color as the wall. So instead of
I didn't realize that was the baseboard.
yeah,
Now
so there's a
I
good
can see
6-inch
that.
base right there. So the hallway is very short and narrow, and by using the same color all the way up, it unifies the wall.
Because you would have a brown or white or something along there,
That's
and that would
right.
that would chop that up.
It's very contrasty. It's the same technique, I like to say, with fashion. So if you wear all black, you're going to look really thin, and it's all the same color. If you wear purple pants, an orange top, a green hat, besides questioning my fashion sense, it
senility.
also chops you up.
I see. Yeah,
So
it
it's the
is.
same idea.
Good point.
Yeah, and then there's also doors in this hallway that I've also painted all the same color. So they're
So
all,
it's a
the trim is
monochromatic.
blue, the doors are blue, and then it just blends away.
And the white then is sort of showcased
Yes.
as an accent.
Absolutely. And in a very small bathroom, which is a very common problem in any urban area.
Yeah, very small usually.
It's very small. This is shower, there's no tub. There wasn't room for a tub. But on the flooring, if you use large format tiles and you angle them, it'll actually make the space seem bigger. So if you run planks front to back, it's going to make your room seem longer.
Right.
If you run them side to
to
side,
side.
it's going to make it seem wider.
Wider.
And then if you run it on the diagonal, it widens and lengthens the room.
I've seen places where they were at a diagonal, but it was usually a large entry or something. I wouldn't have thought about using a big design in a bathroom.
And that is a misnomer where people think, oh, it's a small bathroom, I have to use small tiles.
Right.
But it's a thing with all those grout lines. Every time you see a grout line, that's your
that
eye,
chops it
stop,
up.
stop, stop, stop. And if you just see much bigger tiles, and maybe there's only 6 or 8 of them, your eye just flows across the
I
floor
guess so.
and seems more spacious. And same thing with the glass shower. Instead of having a corner shower jutting out, you chop it so it's angled, and that helps keep the flow open as well. And for little small dining areas, you can use cabinetry floor to ceiling, and that's going to increase your ceiling height. And the thing about this is it's all monochromatic, using the dark colors of the cabinetry and using the dark island. All the color just flows, and the floors are dark. So actually, this is something a lot of people don't know, is dark floors actually recede. So your floors will actually feel more spacious if you do a dark color, because the floor is dropping away.
And I would have thought maybe using the black or a dark gray or whatever would make it seem so much smaller.
Yeah, well, you know, it's also because we have these wonderful glass windows that lets in the light.
Okay.
I mean, if you
That's
have
probably counters it, doesn't it?
you do need to take into consideration what else is going on. If you don't have any windows in the room and you did everything black,
tomb.
that probably wouldn't
Yeah,
be
I see.
advisable.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
And then this
Oh, I love
last,
this.
oh, thank you.
I love these colors.
And then this last example is, it's a very contemporary space. There's no molding or trim. It's very straightforward. So it's very architectural, and there's very sharp lines. So by doing this built-in banquette, instead of doing
it
a
softens it, doesn't it? That's why I like
You're
that.
hired.
I'm hired. Good.
That's right. So instead of having a sharp right angle, by creating this curve, it just softens the flow.
It does.
And then the other trick is, if you notice outside the window, there's all this greenery.
Yes.
If you bring in a color from outside that's visible from your room and use it as a major color, as here, so we have all the greenery, and I use...
So it just extends the room indoors,
right.
outdoors.
Because-
That's a great idea.
because it feels like the patio is really part of your living space.
Now, one other question. What about lighting? Is it true that if it's a smaller space, you need more lighting, or what's the secret there?
Great question. So when I said the cabinetry, if you go all the way up to the ceiling, it makes it seem taller.
Right.
If you drop the cabinetry from going all the way to the top, it will make your ceilings seem shorter. But if you put recessed lighting on top and light up the ceiling, that lifts up the ceiling.
I can see how it would do
So
that.
uplighting is really important if you want to increase the height of your ceiling.
And it seems like more and more of the newer houses that I've been in have that, is it called cove lighting or
Yes.
something? And it does,
Yes.
it just looks like it goes on forever.
Yes, exactly.
And some of the rooms aren't all that big.
Cove uplighting is an excellent way to increase the space in your room.
Well, these are great examples. I can see how people would want to apply these if they had a small space especially and make it seem larger. Thank you very much, Kimball.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. It was great to be here.
Thank you. Marissa, thank you so much for being with us today. I have one of these die cutters and I use it all the time, but what you wanted to show us today is all the other things besides paper and paper crafting that we can use it for.
Oh, for sure. You can do so much with these great dies that I designed for Sizzix and the die cutting machines. We got the Big Shot and the Sophisticut, and you can use it for all kinds of stuff. So I've prepared some things here to kind of give you a small sampling of some ideas.
Let's start with something very scandalous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, a girl's diary.
Right, a girl's diary. And you can just buy the diary at the dime store or wherever, at the dollar store, I guess now. And these are some of your dies that you just cut out.
Yeah, I designed these dies for Sizzix, and there's 20 of them, and they're great for all kinds of embellishment projects, and you could just embellish a plain notebook.
A sweatshirt ready-made. We didn't have to do any sewing on this.
Yeah, and I used the Fabulous die to make it look like it was a necklace, and the chains, and I adhered that with some dry fabric adhesive.
Cute little tote bag.
Yeah, that's a cute little tote bag. It could be great for like a party favor bag or a beach theme party.
Oh, you know, birthday parties, you always give favors to all the kids that come. What a great idea. I'm going to remember that.
Yeah, and I used some of my favorite materials on those sunglasses.
I can tell,
with
and
the
we're going to show
shades.
some of those in a minute. And now this is slightly different.
Yeah, that's a great idea for saving your scraps, which I know you love to do.
I do.
So I cut a lot of duct tape sheets out, and with my leftovers from cutting out some unicorns, I used those duct tape sheets as a stencil. For a baby thing, since you don't want to have too many
And you don't want it
embellishments
stiff.
that can
You
fall
want it,
off. Yeah.
nice and soft.
Yeah.
Well, here's some of the dies that we've been talking about, and the dies are designed to work with almost all cutters, but you do need to know which ones work in your particular brand of cutter. I can see the one with the chain where you made the necklace, and the ones with the Fabulous and all of those, but part of the beauty of crafting is all of the extra embellishments that are available.
Oh yeah, these materials are so fun. I love this Rolex. It's just this polycarbonate film. It's got all these dazzling optical effects.
I thought it was paper at first, but
it's actually
it's different.
polycarbonate, but it's so easy to cut. You can cut it with scissors and of course with your wonderful Sizzix machines.
great. What about the glitzy over here? I love that.
That's another one of my favorite
Is yours
things
too?
with the bling. I think we both love the bling. That's adhesive rhinestone sheets from the Buckle Boutique.
And
it's
you can run
actually-
it through a cutter too.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it just cuts right through because it's a soft acrylic, but it's got that dazzle.
It
So
really does.
I like to put it on everything.
And you know, you can buy these for hardly anything and then put your choice of the Rolex inside it.
Yeah.
And some of the little, we've got the trucker cap, the sneaker, the whatever in there. Make it very personal to the person you're giving it to.
Yeah.
Great
it's-
idea.
No one will confuse that with their coffee cup.
And you even have a lamp, like it could be a night light or it could be a lamp.
Yeah, for this lamp, I kind of went with the superhero theme and unicorns, so it's kind of majestic. And again, here I used the negative space of the cityscape,
Oh,
that's
that's
not
right.
waste. So I saved my scrap after cutting this out, and then I made yellow buildings with a black background.
Good idea. Yeah, because you sure don't want to waste anything. And you can just put a light bulb in there and click it on and off.
Yeah, here I'll show you what it looks like on. Isn't that pretty?
Beautiful.
Great for a kid's room or to decorate your office.
And we have a backpack. What a way to individualize, because every kid has the same backpack almost anymore.
Oh yeah, you can totally customize it. Here I used fabric layered on top of this stuff called Foomph from Coats & Clark. And it's basically an adhesive kind of applique material, so it's really, really easy to do.
And if you needed to, like for the rough carrying and all, you could go ahead and put a good glue on the back of it too.
Yeah, you could even
It'll
run a
last.
stitch through if you felt like, you know, getting
Good
out your
idea.
needle and thread.
And last but not least, I guess we all use gift bags all the time now, but why not make it a little more special?
Yeah, you can just buy these plain generic gift bags and use the dies to dress them up. So why don't we
Let's do that.
glitz this bag up?
Glitz it up.
How about we use the sunglasses die?
This is the one we're going to use. And this is what it looks like. It's a little hard to tell because of the black, but we'll see when it comes out.
Oh yeah, it's like magic when it pops out on the other side of the machine.
And we're
this
going
is
to do
a-
the rainbow, which will look gorgeous on
Yeah,
the yellow.
and it's a 3-in-1 die, so it comes with 3 different shades. You got your James Dean, you got your 1980s shutter shades, and of course your Lolita glasses.
Lolita. Okay. And with the cutters, it's so fast. You know, I like to cut. I've always loved to do doll clothes and things, but gosh, this is fast and
Yeah.
accurate.
And you
That's-
know, even these Lolita glasses even give you this extra heart from the middle. It looks almost like those like those candies, those Valentine's Day candies.
And then you just peel out and again,
Yeah.
save all of these little pieces because you can just sprinkle them around too.
Sure, and then you peel that off.
So
You got
where
your
you
long nails. There you
got
go.
it
You got
there.
it.
Okay.
And then we can just embellish. Here, I'll put that one there.
Okay. And we could put the Lolita ones on or
Yeah.
even sprinkle the hearts if we just wanted to do the hearts. This is so fun. And magnets. I forgot you were going to talk about that we can cut even magnets with these machines.
Yeah, you could do the same thing. For instance, you could take some of this adhesive magnets and layer it up with some of the Rolex, run it through, and make your own custom refrigerator magnets.
Or black sunglasses too.
Or you can stick them in your locker too.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for bringing all of these things. Well, it'll be fun to go to the store now and specifically look for which dyes and which products that we want to get. Thank you.
Thank you.
Charlie and Jessica, it's really nice to have you both here today, and I'm anxious to talk to you both. But Charlie, I'll talk to you first. You said we're going to make some canapes. Well, my first thought was, oh, that's appetizers. But tell us what canapes are and where they fall in the food chain.
Canapes pretty much it's a term that could be used interchangeably with hors d'oeuvres.
Oh.
Small single bites usually, no more than 2 bites. They can be picked up with your finger. They're usually never served with a fork or a knife, maybe with a toothpick. There's a lot of them, certainly way more than I'm going to demonstrate here today. Appetizers, on the other hand, could be something like a spring roll or an egg roll or a whole plate of meatballs or even a small pizza that could be served for the whole table before the entree is served.
Oh, I see. So hors d'oeuvres and canapes are kind of used interchangeably.
Yes.
I see. Okay. And Jessica's going to start us off. What are you going to start with?
I'm actually just going to go ahead and start with some rye bread. You can use any bread, but this is just going to make a nice base for what we're making today. I'm going to take a cookie cutter and just make some nice little circles.
Any kind of bread can be used. I do like a darker, like the rye. You could use a pumpernickel, simply because some of the other ingredients we're going to use are fairly neutral in color.
So the flavor could come through that way.
Absolutely.
Jessica, I know you're a student at the university in the culinary arts program. What do you hope to do when you graduate?
I'm hoping to go to Ireland and open up my own restaurant and hotel.
So this has been great practice for you, hasn't it?
It has, and Dr. Brose is an excellent teacher.
Oh,
You get an A. I'm sure that's how that works. Well, we appreciate you sharing some of your talent with us too.
Thank you very much. I will say at this juncture, don't think we're going to waste these. They can be used for croutons, they could be used for breadcrumbs, or they could be used for the birds in your yard.
Very good. We don't want to waste food.
Nothing wasted here. Okay, this is one of my favorites because it's very inexpensive. It's very easy, and it is, I've never had any complaints as far as the flavor goes.
Now, what are you putting on it?
This is equal parts butter and cream cheese.
Oh my word, I bet that's delicious.
It's fairly tasty. I whipped it together in my upright mixer with the
Oh.
paddle attachment. I added a little bit of parsley just for color, and there's a little salt and pepper in there. Mainly I use the salt because I used an unsalted butter.
Oh, I see.
And now I have a star tip on here. It makes very nice little rosettes, and it should make them fairly easily.
Oh, how
You
pretty.
have to hold it down.
The parsley does just give it a little
Little bit of
zing.
a little bit of a pop there, yes. And if you wanted to, you could sprinkle minced parsley on top. That's certainly not a problem. But this makes things so much easier. And the nice thing about this particular pastry bag is it's disposable.
I like that too. I remember when I used to try to wash those
Oh,
afterwards.
yeah,
They're
that's
just
a nightmare.
impossible.
You just
You
cut
could
off
make 50 or 60 of these in no time.
you could make
I mean, they're
200 of
fat.
them in no time. And I have. Now, I like to use pepperoni for this particular one. You certainly, I've used smoked salmon in the past. Really, the sky's the limit. If you like it, you could leave them the way they are, but I think they need a little bit more. A caper would be nice. Actually, there's not too much you couldn't use. It's just pretty much up to you.
Pimento would be pretty on it.
Pimento would be beautiful. Anything small. I cut them in half,
Oh,
and then I bend them, and then I set them with the bend still in them right down into the cream cheese mixture,
almost look like little wings.
like a little wing or a little
Butterfly.
sail. But it doesn't take very long. And if you have a friend, if you want to do the 200 we were talking about, and you have a friend, you could really set up a kind of a
That's when
assembly
Jessica would
line.
really be helpful.
That's right. But just fold them. And if you wanted to do the whole pepperoni, you could certainly do that. There's no right or wrong way here. But we can knock these out pretty fast. I'll do...
It used to be, I remember when I was taking some classes, the only decoration, so to speak, that we put on food was just parsley. We'd break off several little sprigs of parsley, and it seemed like, and no one ever ate it. They pushed it off to
Sure.
the side of their plate. And we've come a long way since then.
Absolutely, the classic parsley and a slice of orange.
Oh,
That
yes,
no one
the
ever, it was
orange
probably
slice.
the healthiest thing on the plate, and
no one ate it.
no one ate it.
I remember. It is fun to go to restaurants, and you hope you have enough money to be able to sit down and order something, but just to see how they plate the food and garnish it, I think is just so interesting.
And then I just have some simple curly parsley here. I picked off some of the nicer ones. This, again, is completely optional, but you can take a few.
That was left from what you chopped up to put inside. Oh, how pretty.
Yes, exactly.
Well, you have
And
to
just
admit
kind
it
of
really looks nice on a plate.
freshens up the plate. These are a little on the neutral side. The pepperoni helps, but that definitely greens and freshens up the plate. And if you imagine this is a large platter with 50 of them on there, but you can see that would
And you
be,
just eat it. It's okay to use your fingers. I
Absolutely.
think that's
Finger
what's
food.
nice about it.
and it's not intimidating to your guests. But a nice large platter of, say, 50 or more of those, set those down, and everyone just goes to town.
Well, it looks really attractive. Well, thank you so much. And Jessica, good luck with your plans for the future, and keep us posted.
Thank you, I will.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you for having us.
I hope you enjoyed the show today. Next time on Creative Living, we'll learn about nightshades, we'll show how to make a mug rug, and talk to a doctor of Oriental medicine. One of my next guests is a nutritionist and author who will demonstrate some substitutes for a category of vegetables called nightshades. It seems that many people can't eat these vegetables because they contain an alkaloid that may promote joint inflammation. Another guest is going to demonstrate how to make a mug rug, which is a coffee cup coaster. She'll feature 2 unique presser feet to do this technique. And finally, we'll talk to a doctor of Oriental medicine who's written a book on relieving pain in 3 seconds. He's going to share his journey from being a licensed optician to becoming a healer and acupuncturist. All of these topics will be featured on the next Creative Living show. If you ever have comments or suggestions or ideas for shows, you can email me at cheryl.borden@enmu.edu. I'd also like to ask you to become a fan of Creative Living on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com and in the search window, type in Creative Living with Sheryl Borden. Thanks so much. I hope you'll plan to join me next time for Creative Living.
We are very pleased to offer you a new booklet that accompanies this series of Creative Living. This booklet is titled the 6900 series, and it features a wonderful collection of ideas and information, and it's available free of charge on our website. Posted as a PDF file, you can simply download the entire booklet or just the segments you're most interested in. For your copy of this new booklet, go to our website at KENW.org and then click on Creative Living. Scroll down to the booklet section and you can click on this booklet or on any of the other booklets that we have available online. We also would like to invite you to sign up for our free e-newsletter. Just go to KENW.org and click on the Sign Up Now button. Thank you.